Good morning.
Oh, you can hear me. You can hear
Yes.
me. Good morning. This is always nice when you log on to a meeting and the other attendee is wearing lycra and sweating.
Yeah, I've not been sweating too much so far, but as you know, it's warm today. I've got the fan blasting.
It is. It is. Brilliant. So yeah, for listeners, Scott is on his turbo trainer. Are you in the garage, or is that
I'm in the garage. Yeah, it's probably the coldest place in the house today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so it is a bit warm, isn't it? Which is nice in some respects, but yeah, not when you're on the turbo train.
No.
So just by way of introduction, tell us what your give us a really brief overview of what the challenges that you're going to be doing.
This challenge is basically a 1,100-mile cycle ride, encompassing every county in England.
Love it. So that's the challenge, and you're going to be raising money for a particular charity, aren't you? What's that?
Yeah, it's for Muscular Dystrophy UK. Obviously, you won't see this on the radio, but I'm wearing the branded gear.
Yeah, and what I wanted to do then is, now we've done a bit of introduction on that, is reel it back, because you've not always been the finely honed athlete that you are now, have you? I love the smile that just emerged on your face then as well.
I'm no finely honed athlete by a long stretch.
You are, yeah. Well, yeah. I think compared to 95% of the population, you definitely are. But yeah, it's not always been the case, has it? So roll it back a few years, maybe, and you weren't as slim as you now are, right?
No, that's fair to say. I was a portly chap. I was about 16.5 stone at the time. I was living away, and my dad had 3 cardiac arrests, which effectively shot me in the arm. It said, "Scott, you need to lose some weight." I did that very easily over a course of 4 years, just on a very basic calorie deficit diet.
Right.
And post that, I went to Germany to Oktoberfest with a bunch of mates for our 40th.
Right.
And a friend of mine, Dave, said, "Do you fancy running back to the hotel?" After quite a lot of German's finest beer. And I'd not done any exercise since I was a teenager, I think.
Yeah.
Turned out to be a 7-mile run, which to me at the time might as well have been a marathon.
Yeah.
But a few weeks after that, I was sat at home thinking, okay, I've lost all the weight now. It's probably about time I started getting a little bit fit. And by this time, we'd already found out that Alex, our son, excuse the breathing, it's quite steep here.
Yeah, sorry.
Had been diagnosed with Becker muscular dystrophy, which is a muscle wasting disease, which slowly strips him of his strength, him particularly to his outer limbs and his heart. So I decided to start cycling. And with that, I devised my first charity cycle ride, which was encompassing all of the extreme compass points of Cumbria. Effectively turned into a 420-mile cycle ride, which I did over 4.5 days.
Oh wow! No way. I don't know why, but I hadn't clocked that. I hadn't realised you'd done that. How amazing!
Yeah, that was effectively our introduction, or my introduction into fundraising.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I bumped into a local chap called Sam Taylor in the local pub in Enmore, whose son also has muscular dystrophy. He's got a different strain of it called Duchenne.
Yeah.
And they're another family that does a lot of fundraising.
Yeah.
And he immediately said, "Oh, we'll come and join you." And Sam and Will, his son, joined us on this bike ride as a support. It was wonderful. So we had bikes, kit, food, every 25, 30 miles, and sort of vowed to join them in everything that they've done since.
Yeah.
And everything they'll do for the future.
And that's a truly amazing story, isn't it? Where that goes. So I met Sam in the Chippy last weekend, and we were talking about like the challenges that you've done as a group, as a team up to now, and a few of the bits that he's thinking about. I'm fairly sure we talked about you dead briefly, and so because then you got sucked into doing other stuff with them as well, didn't you? And
yeah, Sam devised a quadrathlon, which was a couple of years ago now, which was swim a mile in Windermere, kayak the length of Windermere, cycle to Wasdale over Hard Knot Rhinos, and hike stroke run from Wasdale Head to Langdale, which, me being me, I did twice. Once over a course of 2 days with, I think it was 51 people the first time around. It was absolutely wonderful. And the second time it was myself and Sam, because he couldn't take part the first time, and another mate called Pete Gallagher. It's just with weather like it has been today, spectacular. But yeah, that got me running. Yeah, I've not run for what, 20 years. Yeah, and the furthest I'd gone was 400 meters. And since that, I've gone on to do 3 marathons. I think 21 half marathons.
Yeah, wow. No way.
Several 20-mile runs, 2 half Ironmen.
Yeah,
and plus the thousands of miles of training, of course.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, and again, it's there's the inclusivity of where there's a will, there's a way, which is what the sort of the encapsulates the stuff that Sam does with his son Will as well. Is just amazing, isn't it? Got loads of kids taking a part, loads of families taking part, and just everyone getting sucked into that enthusiasm. So
yeah, I had people.
Yeah, and I hadn't realised it was the same charity. Actually, it's both MD UK, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That you're raising money for, right? I hadn't appreciated that link either. Which is even better then, isn't it? Yeah, is that you still you've got that shared connection, I guess. So then, leading on to this challenge now, then why have you decided to do this one now? Why are you cycling the nation?
Well, firstly, running hurt me far too much. My legs don't agree with running. Despite doing it for 3 years and doing about 7,000 miles, my tendons hate running, and it was injuring me too often.
Right.
And I love cycling. And where we are in the Lake District, it's just spectacular.
Yeah.
And I was browsing through Instagram one day, and I'd seen one chap. Turns out this isn't an official thing, but he'd visited every county in England in his car in 24 hours and said it was a world record. So I thought, I wonder if that's doable on a bike. Obviously not in 24 hours, that would be ridiculous. But that just set me thinking. So I started drawing up a route, which took myself and a friend Tim a very long time, trying to find the sort of the quickest, easiest, shortest way.
Yeah.
To do it, because sometimes you have to plan slightly longer to avoid steep hills. Well, steep hills I should be used to, but living here.
But when you're doing that sort of distance, you don't want to be going over many massive hills.
No,
The
last day is probably going to be the toughest. It'll be very similar to what we did last year for Sam's Duchenne Research Relay. So the last 60 miles is over the Pennines. I think you've got 6,500 feet in the last 50 miles.
Yeah, so wow.
Yeah, hopefully by then that'll be a parade lap, really.
Yeah, and so are you going to be starting from home then? So you're going to be starting from the edge of the Lake District?
No, unfortunately, the part of Cumbria is very small. Just it's the way that's designed. We are finishing at the Centre for Life in Newcastle, which is where Alex got diagnosed. It's a place close to her heart. It's a genetic research centre.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting down in Cornwall.
Well, sorry, of course, that makes sense after asking the question. Of course, why would you start in Cumbria to go all the way down and come back up? Yeah.
But it's amazing what you learn. It's a pretty convoluted route because obviously Greater London's its own county, as is Bristol.
Right, okay.
So you have to include these, and obviously they add miles. So the bit through Cumbria is just
Yeah.
through the corner that Kirby Lonsdale sits.
Exactly. You're just literally dipping your toe in and then off over into Yorkshire, or one of the Yorkshires. And so it is going to be a Guinness World Record attempt.
Yeah, I've been chatting to Guinness over the last. Well, it takes a while to get through. You have quite a long, convoluted chat with them.
Yeah.
But I can't give away the exact stipulation. But hopefully, it's been recognised once I submit the evidence that we've done it. It'll be a world record.
Yeah.
Which
that's quite something, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't looking for that, but it adds kudos.
Yeah,
we're trying to attract people.
Yeah.
To join me. To do it, and companies.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you are looking for sponsorship as far as support to get on board for all sorts of reasons, I guess, because the training on an event like this takes a considerable amount of time, doesn't it? And
it does.
Like I said, whilst it's nice to have a hobby, it does cost a fair amount of cash to. We were talking the other day, weren't we, about tyres? Or inner tubes is a great example for me. Is they're not when you're doing, was it 1,100 miles? Sorry, you said. Yeah, there's going to be. I'd imagine there's going to be a fair few mechanical failures of different types at different points. Yeah.
The percentage says that we'll have a few.
Yeah, and again, you've got your long-suffering wife is on board as far as support crew are concerned. It's you do need a vehicle and feeding and all the rest of it as well, don't you?
Yeah. Fortunately, my wife Julia will be following me around the UK over the course of this. I must say, we've got this designed to be done in 8 days. So we'll be doing about 140 miles a day, give or take.
That's awesome, mate. I really got absolute admiration. So you're going to need some additional padding in those lycra shorts that you've got on today.
I'm trying to design it in a way so people can join me, but they'll need to train.
Yeah.
Because 100 miles a day 100 miles is a sponsorable event for a lot of people, much like a marathon is.
Well, indeed, it's a challenge event, isn't it? Is that that sort of endurance event? So, how what's the best way for people to sort of get in touch with you, if you will, to follow what's going on, or to jump on board as far as coming with you? What would be the best way to do that?
Well, I've started up a YouTube channel called Cycle the Nation. It's documenting everything that I'm doing in the build-up. Same on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just Google Cycle the Nation. That's me.
And then
you can email
me,
message me.
Yeah.
Talk to friends of mine. And I'm easily found.
I like that. For good and bad on that one.
Yeah, we know what social media can be like, but it can be a force for good as well.
Exactly. No, we do, absolutely. Yeah. So we do need people to get in touch to support you and to sort of join the crowd of people, I guess. And that is are you asking for people to join you and raise money for MD UK as well?
Yeah, effectively the charity have created an umbrella fundraising, Just Giving. So people will be able to join me on a day-to-day basis, or for all of it if they want, and create their own Just Giving, and then that'll feed into the main one.
So the overall one. Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking to raise 100 grand with this. Over the challenges of the past together, I'm up to about 10, but this one wants to be large, really.
Yeah, it's got something on a different scale, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm sort of taking the cue from Sam with trying to get more people involved. It's all well and good having a challenge for myself, but one person doing a challenge does not raise as much money as 50, 60, 70, 100 people can. Yeah. And I know, we're seeing, like you said, the sort of the comic relief ones that happen as well, and they as they progress through the days, more and more people get involved, and more and more people join, and that's sort of what you wanting to create again, isn't it? Is that sort of the ripple effect of people? Very much so. Yeah, it's why I'm starting
it
now, because the event itself isn't until next May. in fact, next June, sorry. So I'm giving myself plenty of time to try and get this thing rolling and get myself fit.
Yeah, and so you mean June 2023, just for clarity, don't you? Sorry, yeah, just like that. Get yourself fit for it as well. Yeah. So how many miles are you going to put in a week then, as far as training's going?
At the moment, I'm probably doing about 130 miles a week. Most of that's done on a Sunday, really. So I'm doing 70, 80 miles on a Sunday. But when the weather's terrible, I'm here in my garage on Zwift, as I am right now.
Yeah.
That will increase. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd be doing this for a living.
Yeah.
I'd just go out every day. You know, if we could get a company out there, I could go, oh, this looks like a chap that could be supported and be an ambassador for us, then yeah, I'd be certainly listening for that.
Yeah,
it means I could, you know, I could commit all of my time to doing this.
That's it, and do it, like I said, do it not as a professional cyclist, but do it as in similar terms, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of a Joe Blogs becomes not terrible.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Is there anything else about the challenge or the event that you wanted to get across? Is because obviously you've got that personal connection as far as it is literally your son that you're raising money for in many respects.
The money that we raise will be going directly into the research and hopefully roll out of cure should it come. It's a disease that takes severe cases very young. It's horrific. And nobody wants to go through that, especially a parent. And I guess this is my way of taking away the helplessness. Something. Really. It's very, very good for the head. And Alex, he's proud of his dad for doing these things. It's great for mental health as well, on a deeply personal level. Even getting outside today after, what could be a terrible morning, in whatever circumstance, just getting out on a bike, spreading the word, it clears the head.
It does, yeah. And just can you tell me a little bit more about muscular dystrophy then generally? What's it? Reluctant to say what's it all about, because it's not that easy, is it? But how does it impact? What is is there any way you can describe it in a nutshell?
It's effectively a muscle wasting disease. The body stops producing a chemical called dystrophin, which stops the muscle fibers binding. So they have no inherent strength. Imagine a muscle full in a stocking, and the stocking's becoming more deteriorated, so it can't bind the muscles together properly, so they become weak. And it's progressive. Obviously, in aggressive terms, it's more progressive quickly. So sufferers lose the use of the legs. Alex himself is mostly wheelchair bound. He can sort of get up and potter about the house, but really slowly, and using walls and door frames to prop himself up. But to go any more than 10 yards on not flat ground, he's in a chair, and he's only 21.
Right. And that, yes, and is that? Yeah, I know it's not the greatest of questions to ask in many respects, but is he going to deteriorate further in the short term, or is it?
Well, he's monitored. He's monitored. He goes up to Newcastle or Lancaster or several hospitals just for regular checkups. So he'll have his heart monitored, have his bloods checked, because he takes medicine for his heart to, obviously, to keep it strong, just to make sure he doesn't have to pump too hard. But it does deteriorate over time. Some of it's quite unknown because it's there's quite a lot of strains of muscular dystrophy, but all the research that's going into it is making more and more discoveries about how progression can be halted. The obviously aim is reversed, to enable the body to produce dystrophin again. I think some recent studies have shown that it's possible. Sam was chatting to a professor last year and said it's not a case of if there's a cure now, it's when.
It's when.
So where, will is part of some clinical trials at the moment. So if they prove fruitful, we could see a cure in the next, well, X amount of years.
Yeah. Well,
Which is-
potentially in Will's lifetime, for want of a better, at least,
exactly.
at the very least,
Which is why people like Sam and myself do these things, you know.
Yeah.
Our pain that we choose to go through, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's not for our kids.
Yeah.
They have to live with that. So, you know, we'll put ourselves through that so they don't have to, hopefully.
And I think the pertinent point for me about doing that is unfortunately, in some ways, you're doing it because you can as well. And
exactly.
You know, and again, like you said, Alex, Will aren't physically capable of doing what you're doing, and in these fundraising challenges. So
which goes full circle to the helplessness.
Absolutely, it's a really good point to make. That's
I'm trying to do something because I'm able to, you know, and it is literally my life's drive now. It's all I think about is getting on and doing stuff, and how can I help more.
And I guess just picking up on one of the points that you mentioned just in that last bit of conversation as well, is that, you know, it's not just that your child's poorly as well, it's that actually you've got to take that time off work, you've got to take them along to hospital. It's, you know, it's a stressful experience, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I guess, and regardless of how many times you have to do it, it's
and every now and again you see your child struggle, and it's heartbreaking. I know, you know, everyone gets on with it. It's how we operate. We just get on with it, you know, make the best of every single day you've got. Whether that be 100 years, 30 years, doesn't matter. So we just plow on, but every now and again it hits you. You think, no, that's not fair. That's a bit
rubbish. I can again, as a dad, I can relate to that absolutely. Is that that it is that you want the best for your kids, don't you? And that helplessness, you can't, you know, sometimes you just can't do anything to help your kid, can you? And that's
and I think it helps at the fact that it's basically a genetic mutation, and there's no fault to point at anyone. So there's no point in getting angry. It's just something that you have to take on board, put it on your shoulders and walk with it, you know.
And get on with it. Or cycle with it. Exactly. Cool. So we do. We could speak for days, you and I, most of which probably wouldn't be fit for air in any terms. But
my brain's in radio mode at the moment.
No, exactly. So finishing up, I guess I've just got a frog in my throat. Hang on a minute, not literally. So Cycle the Nation is what the challenge is called. It's 1,100 miles
in 8 days.
In 8 days, and you're raising money for Muscular Dystrophy UK. The name of the charity.
Go out and find me on YouTube. The more subscribers I get, the more likely it is I'll get sponsors on board.
Exactly.
Which is what I'd love, really. I'm not doing this for me. I don't want a big audience to make money. If I do, it goes to the charity. It doesn't go in my pocket. I just want the social outreach.
And all the sponsorship links are on there, as far as the Just Giving page that you mentioned as well, aren't they?
The Just Giving isn't up yet because it's pointless doing it now because it's over a year away. But all of the other links to the social media is on all of my YouTube channels, just underneath the video.
Brilliant.
And everything. I publish many times a week.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's it. You've been Scott Mitchell. Good to see you. Good to see you panting away, dressed in lycra. Weirdly.
Well, I'll be outside in a few minutes, actually getting in the sun.
Exactly. Like that. On the other bike and outside. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon's training. Anyway, mate. We'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you very much. See you later.